Hey everybody, so welcome to my Montreal Canadiens news of the day for May 2nd of 2020. So I thought there was enough news gathered up that are related to Montreal Canadiens to do instead of a video on each separate item, to bunch them up in this video, and hopefully you'll enjoy that a lot better. So there's news on the draft, what's going to happen there, the start of next season. Montreal Canadiens signed somebody. Backup goalie news, maybe. I mean, it potentially was backup goalie news. Now it's not. And let's get right into it, actually. So that's the first item up for bids on The Price is Right. So the Boston Bruins, they extended Yaroslav Halak. They didn't waste any time. They extended him for next season. They signed him to one more season at $2.25 million. Which is kind of, I said that he would come in less than last season. He made 2.7 last season. I was hoping Montreal could get him somewhere around $2 million. And I guess the Bruins, I said the Bruins might sign him before Montreal even gets a chance. And that's exactly what they did. And, I mean, good on them for them. I mean, he's going to be a good backup. Gives Rask a lot of rest during the season and allows them to get ready and be fresh for the playoffs. So, yeah, good signing by them, and just too bad. I was hoping we'd get him. The Habs signed to an ELC. Arsen, this is hard to say, Kizamutinov. Arsen Kizamutinov. He's a really big defenseman from Russia, I believe. They signed him to his ELC. I don't know if it was 2 or 3 year ELC. I believe he's 22, so he's not a young guy. Although they drafted him in 6th round last season. So in the 2019 draft, he was a 6th round choice. Obviously doing well and moving up because they signed him, and he's going to go. He's assigned to Laval Rocket to start with and let him develop there. I don't know how long it will take. I don't know a lot about this guy. I just know he's really big, and yeah, they already signed him. Next up, Cole Caufield. He wins the Mark Johnson Rookie of the Year award. I don't know if it's for the NCAA, which I don't think so. I think it's for the Badgers team itself. So he won the Badgers. I think that's what it is. Rookie of the Year award. I know he's in the running for the NCAA Rookie of the Year. I believe. I don't know if it's for the Big Ten Conference only or the whole NCAA. But he won the Badgers Rookie of the Year, which isn't a surprise. I expected that to happen. He's going to be going back there next season to spend his 2nd season in college, which I think is a good move overall. And I do believe, I think he'll be ready by then, but he might not. But I think he'll be in Laval or in Montreal the season after that. Noah Juulsen. Noah Juulsen is healthy and ready to go. And I know we've heard this before, but considering that we've had this long layoff and he had started playing for Laval, and then this all hit and they canceled everything. He's had a lot of time to recuperate, extra than he thought, and he's apparently feeling really, really good. I think he said better than he's felt since before the injury, and that's a good sign, and that's good news for Montreal. I don't think they're going to trade him away, but he could be traded if he's healthy. But I don't think anybody would really. I'm not sure anybody would really want to trade for a guy that you want to see him play after coming off from an injury like that. But the good news is he's feeling great and ready to go. Georges Laraque, former Montreal Canadien, not for very long, but he did play here. NHL, I want to say goon, but he could play a bit. Enforcer, Georges Laraque has COVID-19. He's in hospital. Not that he's really doing bad, but he has asthma and therefore required early hospitalization just to make sure that he stays healthy, I guess, and stays okay. So Georges Laraque recovering in hospital from COVID-19 right now. The 2021 season could start as late as mid-December. This has been, I believe, mentioned. I don't know if it's not official, obviously, and it won't be official until they know what's going to happen with the rest of this season. But they're saying that it could start as late as mid-December if they're going to play the rest of the season and the playoffs. That looks like what it'll be. I was thinking it would be in November. It seemed to make more sense to me. But they're saying mid-December, which would mean a compressed season. And it's the reason why they've been talking about a 70-game season instead of an 82-game season. That makes a lot more sense now. They'd have to compress that season and have less games. So that's what they're talking about right now. Now, the next news up is pretty big. And I mentioned this, maybe it was only my live stream that I did the other day. They're talking about a June draft, which I think everybody must know pretty much by now. The thing is, there were no details. How would they do this? So they've released a proposal last night, I guess, to the rest of to the management of the teams and to the NHLPA. I would think that's who the proposal is for. So here's what we know. They're proposing one lottery winner, whereas they've had 3 lately in the last few years. I don't know how long since it changed. One winner that can only move up 4 spots maximum. So that would mean, we'll get to it here. Detroit can't move lower than second, so they won't drop more than 1. That's one thing. Ottawa likely will not do worse than 3 and 4. They're going to be a different team after that. And that also means teams like Montreal, who is sitting, I believe, in 8th place right now, they can't move up farther than 4th place. So if they accept this, it takes unless we make a trade to get that higher pick, getting Lafreniere or Byfield is probably off the table, and probably Jamie Drysdale as well. Although they can get 4th pick, Drysdale may still be there. So I'm a Drysdale guy, so there's still hope for that. Seeding would go by winning percentage for the first 68 games. There's no teams that have played less than 68 games, so they're going to take the winning percentages from that and make the seeds. Bottom 15, bottom, I don't know, top or bottom, but 15 go to the lottery and 16 go to the playoffs. Conditional trades, so when you have a conditional draft pick and stuff like that, those they're gonna give them a certain amount of time, like 2 days before the draft, to rework the deal. And if not, the league, the NHL, will arbitration, or they'll make the decision. They'll figure out something. That's how it's worded. They'll figure out something. And I don't know exactly what that means, and I don't think teams are gonna like that. New trade deadline. So because every draft there's trades, and because the season hasn't been finished during the playoffs, the trade deadline we had already in 2019-20, and when you get traded, you can't. If you're traded after the deadline, you can't play in the playoffs. That's how it works. So what they're proposing is this is a new trade deadline. Any players moved during this draft would be allowed to play in the playoffs. So that's how that would work. So that takes care of a couple of those problems. I don't know if it's satisfactory to the other teams. I'm not sure. I just really heard about it, a lot of this, so I'm not sure how you and I feel about it. If lottery winner makes the playoffs, so I don't like teams that are, say Montreal. If Montreal wins the lottery, moves up to 4 spots, and they play the rest of the season and the playoffs, and Montreal somehow manages to just get into the playoffs, that would mean that next season they would not be eligible for the lottery if they're in the bottom 15 teams. Not well liked by most GMs and most players, from what I can tell. I know Steve Yzerman probably gains the most from this. As far as Detroit can't move past 2nd place, so they're going to get Lafreniere or Byfield, one of the two. And he's saying he doesn't really like it. And a lot of players apparently are speaking out and saying that they don't like it. Some players are just saying, I imagine some players like it, and some players are just kind of saying, listen, what choice do we have? And, this is what the league wants, this is what they'll get. And then some players are talking out against it. And personally, I don't think I like it too much. It doesn't seem like when Bettman was interviewed by Ron MacLean, he said they wanted to do this with integrity. I don't know how much integrity there is in there. I don't know if this is fully, I don't know if that's the way to go about it. I don't have much say in it, I realize, but I don't know that that's fair to everybody. So we'll have to see how that works out. It's just been kind of proposed now. They said there'll be a decision by next week sometime. And like I said, I was saying in my live chat, I don't know if I said this in a video, but it looks like they're going to have to make a decision by the 15th of May of whether they're going to proceed with finishing the season or not. Because of the time frame, they pretty much need to start doing the things they need to do to make that happen by the 15th of May. So look for an announcement on this and an announcement on what's going to happen with the rest of the season shortly thereafter. Or even at the same time, because if they're going to announce that the draft is going to be in June, then that pretty much means they're going to try to get the rest of the season in. If they're saying it's going to be a later draft, it might mean that they might not get the season in. Anyway, that's what I've got for you. That's the news of the day. Well, it went longer than I thought. I didn't want to go this long. But thanks for watching. Really appreciate that. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that as well. While you're on the way down there to do that, comment section is down there. Please leave a comment about what you think about that, about the draft. What do you think about any of this signing, Halak not being available, about Kuzmutinov? That's a name we're going to have to learn, maybe. And anything else in the video. And just to remind people that memberships are available if anybody wants to become a member. Give you some perks go along with that, and some live streams and live chats and all that stuff. So if you want, just check out memberships. Really appreciate that. And subscribe if you haven't already. And that's going to get you your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge. Right here at Talking Habs. Once again, thanks everybody for watching. Please stay safe. Wash your hands a lot. Wear a mask when you go out. I don't go out without a mask. And stay home as much as you can, even though they're opening things up. Still, do the stuff you need to do and then come back home and stay home. And let's keep those numbers down. So that's it. Again, I'm going to say thanks for watching and peace out, everybody. See you next video.